On today's episode of the Fresh Brew Run vlog, my review of the adidas Evo SL and what I did to fix a major issue that I had with this shoe. Welcome to the Fresh Brew Run Club. My name is Aaron, and today, doing a little shoe review, the adidas Evo SL. Now, here's the deal. I know I am super late to the adidas Evo SL party. These came out a long time ago. I saw all kinds of hype, all kinds of reviews. People were just fired up about this shoe, and then I saw them for under retail on StockX, and I said, you know what? I can't pass this opportunity up. So I bought a pair, put them on my shelf for a little while, and then I went for my first run in them and had some mixed results. Put them back on the shelf, went for a few more runs, and that's where we are today. So a couple things I'm going to cover today. What is the adidas Evo SL, plus my initial thoughts on running in this shoe, including an issue that I experienced, and then something I'm going to attempt, which I haven't attempted yet. So this is going to be a review plus like a live attempt to make this shoe work for me, because I really do want it to work, and then I'll give my follow-up thoughts on that. So first things first, what is the adidas Evo SL besides the shoe that your favorite running YouTubers and Instagrammers have been talking about for months and months? So I went on the Adidas website, and honestly, kind of unclear. Typically, oftentimes the shoe brands will tell you like, hey, this is a daily trainer or a recovery shoe or a racing shoe. Not a whole lot of specific descriptions of what this is actually for. There is a lot of stuff about how these shoes are like inspired by Adidas's racing shoes, which makes a lot of sense. Has a very like lightweight upper, kind of a fast looking shoe. It looks like the Adios Pro 3 and Adios Pro 4, which is like their main racing shoe. So I've run about like 35 miles in these. I would say that these are like a faster daily trainer. At least that's what they feel like for me. Definitely not an easy run shoe, but also not quite fast enough for me to say that these would be like a racing shoe. But I do think that these are a faster daily trainer. So like I said, my experience with these shoes, I saw them everywhere. I continue to see them everywhere. I bought them. I was in the middle of marathon training, so my first run in these shoes was a strength workout as part of the Hanson's marathon method. I think I was doing 5 1K repeats with 400 meter active recovery in between. I went for that run. My first repeat was awesome. Honestly, these shoes are like nothing I've ever experienced before. The number one word I would use to describe these shoes after my first 1K repeat is bounce. These are the bounciest shoes I have ever experienced, and not in like a soft, cushiony way, but in like a firmer, almost like bouncy ball type of way. Every step I took, I could feel the energy being like transferred back into my feet and into my legs as I was sort of propelled forward. It was awesome. Finished up my first 1K, got into the second 1K, and I'm cooking. And I noticed a little bit of an issue. My left foot, specifically my left arch, started to hurt. And it didn't get much better over the course of the next 2 to 3 repeats. It was just very painful. It was also very hot that day, so just everything about that workout did not go great, but a lot of pain in my left arch, which wasn't ideal. So being in the middle of marathon training, I said, you know what, I'm not going to mess with these anymore. I put them back on the shelf. I said, you know what, I'll come back to these after I run the marathon. So that's where I am today. I've been running in these a few times since I finished my marathon, and pretty much the same results. Maybe not as extreme. The pain isn't quite as intense in my left arch because I'm going a little bit slower than that strength workout, but it's still there. So I spent a lot of time trying to like adjust the laces, where I would go like super loose in the sort of mid-foot area and then tighter around the ankle so that they stayed on my feet. But at the end of the day, these shoes were quite painful, which is disappointing because I really like the first mile in these shoes. So what I'm going to try to do today is salvage these shoes. I want to keep running in these. I want them to work for me, but I need my arch to not hurt after one run. Now, a quick little disclaimer, I think the arch pain it's a me problem, but I think I just have like a weird left foot, maybe a flatter arch. So I did a little investigation, and I think I may have identified the problem. I think that the midfoot area is just a little too narrow for my foot. I didn't think I had wide feet, but maybe my left foot is a little wider and the arch is a little bit flatter. So my arch is like sitting on the edge of the inside of the midfoot area, and it's kind of painful. So I looked this up online. It seems like I'm not the only person to experience this. The number one recommendation was to replace the insoles. So that's what I'm going to do today, and then I'm going to go for a run later and see if that makes a difference. So as far as insoles go, I have a pair of old insoles from my original Pegasus Turbos. I think I have like 50, 60 miles on these, so not too much. These have kind of been on my shelf, really doing nothing for a while. I would have liked to get more mileage in these, but I've just been running in other shoes lately. So these are pretty fresh insoles from those Peg Turbos. So I'm going to replace those. So here's the deal. The insole on the Evo SL is glued on, but apparently you can pull it off. So I'm going to try to do this in real time. I don't know if this is going to be like an ASMR video. Okay, so this is the insole of the shoe, and you can see just how thin it is right in that area. And if you compare that to the Pegasus Turbo insole, you can see that black area of the Turbo insole. That's kind of where the pain is. So I'm hoping that this is a fix for that arch pain that I'm experiencing. It's not a very strong glue on the inside of that shoe, so this shouldn't be too big of a deal to replace this. Hopefully I don't have to cut anything. And then I'm gonna do the other one just so I don't have two different insoles in the shoe. More shoe ASMR. All right. And then we'll put the right insole in. Okay, seems to fit pretty nicely. So I'm gonna try these on and see how they feel. So I did a quick lap around the basement. They feel good. The Pegasus Turbo insole is a lot thicker than the Evo SL insole. But like I said, the first mile is always great in these. It's mile 2 through like 5 before my foot either just goes numb or gets used to the pain. That's the issue for me. So what I really need to do is take these shoes out and see how they feel with the new insole after like 2 or 3 miles. So that is what I'll do. Okay, so I'm about 2.5 miles in and the new insoles are working. I feel much better. There's still a little bit of like uncomfortableness, but it's not pain. So that is a massive upgrade. This definitely worked. I definitely recommend this if you're experiencing arch pain in the Evo SLs. I still feel a little pressure from the arch, but no pain. No pain is my gain. That's a phrase I just invented. So anyway, let's keep going. All right, so I am, I don't know, about 5 or so miles into this run. So let's wrap up this shoe review. So obviously corrected the little issue I had, which is great. So I'll do some pros and cons of this shoe. Pros, obviously the bounce. That's like the number one thing. That's the headline of this shoe. The bounce is absolutely incredible. It's a fun shoe. I think it's a little bit of a faster shoe. So maybe like a faster, easy run shoe. I think that's absolutely true. I think it looks cool. I mean, this is one of the coolest looking shoes on the market right now. It just looks like fast and like sharp. I don't know, it's just got a very good look to it. And then the cons, so obviously this shoe didn't feel great to me specifically. My left arch had those issues. Not a great sign when you have to replace the insole with an insole from a different shoe. A couple other cons, the outsole of the shoe doesn't have much grip. So I went on a couple runs when it had recently rained, and if you run over like some sand or some like loose gravel, not a lot of traction. Not too big of a deal, just run when it's dry out and you won't experience any issues. But if it is raining, I would probably leave these shoes at home. Another con of this shoe, I don't like the tongue very much. It's a very thin tongue. It kind of moves around. Not a huge fan. It's definitely more of a racing shoe type of tongue, which if you're gonna just wear a shoe at like races or really fast workouts, it's not a big deal. But if this shoe is kind of an everyday, like faster daily trainer, I would want something that's gonna stay in place a little bit better, because every single time I have to readjust the tongue. So overall rating, I have a 3-tier rating system. The first and the worst is trash them, which means I'll run in a shoe a few times and they're so bad that I'm just never gonna run in them again. The next tier up is keep them, which means they're good enough for me to run like 300, 400 miles, however many miles I can get out of them, but I'm probably not gonna buy them again. And then there is buy them again, which means a shoe is so good that I run 300 or 400 miles in them and then I wanna buy another pair. So thanks to the sole replacement surgery that I did earlier, these shoes went from a trash them to a low keep them. I'm gonna keep running in these. We'll see how they hold up over time. If I do get to like, I don't know, 200 or so miles, I'll probably make another review just to give an update on what it's like running in the Nike Pegasus Turbo sole in the Adidas Evo SL shoe. But yeah, I'm gonna keep these. I'm gonna keep running in them. I probably won't buy another pair. I'll probably just wait until the Evo SL2 comes out, if that is made. I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but based on the success of this shoe, I would imagine there's gonna be an Evo SL2. So yeah, a really fun shoe. I wish they worked a little bit better for me. My main issue with the shoe is a me problem, a very specific issue I have with my, I don't know, weird left foot. Maybe I should get that checked out, but that will be the video for today. So thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you soon. Let me show you an issue with doing shoe reviews in the city and outside. Sometimes where you want to film, you just have a garbage truck idling, making a bunch of noise and ruining my Evo SL shoe review. Come on.